really cut ties, depends on what the situation is. But at the end of the day, though, we're not going to leave the family gathering feeling worse than how we came. It is time for us to also break, feeling that we have to go, it's not Christmas unless we buy gifts for everybody. All of these things are traditions, the traditions that leave us broken, overwhelmed, and exhausted and tired. It's time for us to renegotiate. Again, we came up with some rules when we were younger or when we were in another generation. That's not exactly working right now, and we have to do what works. Many of us, we are holding on to some things. We are saying that, as so it has always been, as so it will continue. And the point I'm making tonight is that your tomorrow doesn't have to be like yesterday. And it's not only about food or like I said, material things, but it's about how you feel about yourself. How you felt about yourself yesterday doesn't have to be how you continue. It doesn't have to be the same. You can choose by thinking differently. Like I said, negotiate your thoughts. Go through them and choose one thought after another. Ask yourself, what evidence do I have to believe this that is true? Like I gave the example earlier, the people who are calling me this tan bad name is not persons who are exactly credible in their whole assessment of me. They don't know me. They want to put this version of me that's not even true. So you can't absorb that, and you have to enforce your boundaries in subtle and sometimes indirect ways, depending on the situation and who is around. So I want us to just take a pause here and listen to this clip moving forward as we kind of just allow what we are talking about to cement. The number to call is 876-548-8485. Please do call if you are, need to ask a question or make a comment. Please call in or text the number so that we can, be able to continue our discussion in this type of way. The number again is 876-548-8485. Let's listen.
Such freedom I have found in you. You're the healer who makes all things new. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm not going back, I'm moving ahead. Here to declare to you, the past is over. You, things are made new. Surrendered my life to Christ. I'm moving forward. Oh, you've risen with all power in your hands. You have given me a second chance. Hallelujah, hallelujah, yeah, 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 oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm not going back, moving ahead, here to declare to you, my past is over. You, things are made new, surrendered my life to Christ.
are moving forward, that the song says we're not going to allow our people, the people around us, to draw us out and draw us down. We are going to know and stand in the truth that we are who God said we are. We are who we decide to be. And we're moving forward with those thoughts. So that's like the song we listened to last week that says, "Don't let your tomorrow be like yesterday." This song is saying that we're moving forward. We're not going back. We're moving ahead. We're going ahead with a new belief system about ourselves. We're understanding that people's opinion of us are not exactly always trustworthy. And it is our opinion about ourselves that we have to count on and what God has to say about us. So I wrote about in my book, The Healed Version of Me, I wrote that people are not responding to us when they respond or when they treat us a particular way. The truth is, we really shouldn't take anything personal. Because the truth is, people are responding to what's going on in their minds. When people say things like, you can't have that, or you can't go there so because you're not qualified, or it's really a projection of their own insecurity. It's what's going on in their own minds about the story they tell themselves about you. She thinks she's all that. She just want to come now, come create mischief and problem. So now yard. Those type of things. People, of course, like I say, they tell themselves a narrative. They tell themselves a storyline that goes a particular way. And so when they see you come in, they see that story. They don't see the real you. They make assumptions that they think they know you. They make assumptions about you, and they're often not open to understanding anything that you have to say, because as far as they are concerned, this is who you are. This is what you meant, and so they assign judgment to you and all sort of things. And so wasting your time trying to convince them sometimes often have the opposite effect, because the more you try to convince them, is the more convinced they become that you are exactly how they think you are. So it has the opposite effect. And so we have to be mindful of that. It is with that bearing in mind that we actually make a decision to move on. So when you find yourself about to spiral, when you find yourself about to start having a panic attack about what people have to say about you, about what you hear them say, and want to set the record straight, when you're about to do that, I just want you to understand, just allow this to resonate with you. Allow this to be a part of your journey. To understand that people are responding to what's happening in their own minds. It's not even about you, even though they're talking about you. It's not even about you. I used to have, when I was in the public school system, I used to have a lot of students come to me saying, oh, they have a problem. Sometimes they come to me crying, saying how they hear people talking about them, bad things, and gossiping. And I call up their name, like what Jamaican people like to say. In my mind, of course, you have to empathize with them. But in my mind, I'm like, why do you care? People are going to say whatever they want to say. And many times they do this to get a reaction out of you so they can justify their behavior. People, it's strange, I know. And many times we normalize these things, and we think that it is for us to defend our name and defend our titles. But the truth of the matter is, you don't need to be caught up in all of that. You don't need to feel like this is an opportunity for you to prove something to somebody. You have to learn to relax and allow the truth to speak for itself, which will eventually come out. And so these are just some of the things that we have to be careful about. We have to be careful how we go about, sometimes just jumping the gun with our own defensiveness. Mark you, of course, defensiveness comes from a thought pattern. So you see, I'm still going back to the thought and belief system. So I want to encourage us in this holiday season to do some reflection and write down some of the thoughts that you have so you can decide and realize where your thought process are coming from, where your belief system develop, because we understand our belief system based on our thoughts, based on our consistent actions. So you want to make sure that you are, becoming aware, become more conscious of what you believe. So we're about to go live on TikTok. Please to call your friends. Please let them know that we are on Presence Radio. Please let them know that we are live on TikTok as well, if, in case they're having issues or difficulties, being with us on Presence Radio. Please let them know that we are discussing emotional wellness. We are discussing how we navigate some of the issues that we continue to be present with. Many times, these are the things that people don't always talk about, but these are issues and they are present nonetheless. Welcome, welcome to my TikTok joiners. Francine, Mara, thank you so much for joining. Nessa and IJ, thank you so much. Please like and share this video. Please let me know when you like and share it. Please invite your friends and others to join. Tonight we are discussing, of course, another episode of Emotional Wellness. We are discussing how we navigate our thought process and on our belief systems, particularly when it comes on to setting boundaries, particularly when it comes on to how we respond to people and how we allow them sometimes to upset us in ways that we don't necessarily need to. Again, much of our material is coming from this book, written by yours truly, Peter D. Graham, The Healed Version of Me, a guided reflection with practical tools on how to begin the process of healing emotional wounds and breaking unhealthy patterns. This book has been groundbreaking. A lot of people have been purchasing this book, and it has been changing a lot of lives, and I'm so grateful. And so tonight I want to read a few things from this book as we continue our discussion on our belief systems and on how they sometimes hold us back. So one of these things that I wrote about in my book, I believe this is chapter 4 of the book, where it says the steps to heal. It says, know that your opinions about yourself are good enough. We often think we don't have the authority to validate and make ourselves good enough. We think that we are valuable. We think that we're not valuable enough. We can't trust our judgment, and that somebody else's job. That's somebody else's job, rather. This is not true. To make something special, you must believe it is special. It's the same thing when it comes to our beliefs about ourselves. We just have to believe that our judgment about ourselves is good enough, and the same power we give to others to judge and tell us about ourselves, we can take that power back. Wow. Your opinions about yourself influence how you feel. Furthermore, even if you have people who believe in your worth and keep telling you so, it will be hard for you to believe and receive it, because you can only receive from other people what you already believe. The truth is that we only receive more of what we think we are. Think about it. If you only receive more of what you think you are, then doesn't that mean your beliefs are important and worthwhile? So the paradox of what I'm painting here is that our belief systems are paramount. Our belief systems is the engine that engineers our relationship with other people, how we live, and how we have our relationship with ourselves. And so when we give other people so much authority over us and let them dictate to us how we should feel about ourselves, we have to take that power back. We have to decide that our opinions about ourselves, they are so important because they influence how we feel. And so we have to understand that. We think we're not valuable enough, so we don't trust our own judgment, but that's not true. We have to start developing that trust within ourselves, that whatever we say about ourselves is true and it's good. You can only receive from other people what you already believe. The truth is, we only receive more of what we think we are. So if you already don't think it is so difficult for somebody to convince you. It kind of goes back to what I'm saying earlier about other people, don't it? When other people already believe one thing about us, it's very difficult to change their minds. The same thing with us. So that's why I have to start with us. We have to believe it. If you have any questions on here, please let me know. Please type your comments in the chat. Please call the number 876-548-8485 so that I might be able to hear your questions and answer them. We're talking about belief systems. We're talking about how beliefs shape our tomorrows and our todays. And we want to break some of these negative cycles. We want to understand that these beliefs are limiting us from living our lives to the fullest. It is limiting us from living out our purpose. And we have to decide how we're going to deal with them. So if you have any questions, if you struggle with self-esteem issues, if you struggle to believe in yourself, if a cast down and disempowered and less than is how people make you feel, then it's time to heal. It's time for you to, tap into this resource on here and to know that you are worth so much more. I want to read something further here. I wrote here that I said, this is page 74 of my book, The Healed Version of Me Again. And I said here, I didn't realize that people, no matter who or what they say they are, have serious insecurity issues. Am I blameless? No, but neither are they. I didn't realize that I didn't need anyone's approval to feel the way I felt. I didn't know that I could have walked away from them and go find people who would affirm me instead of hustling to stay and be accepted. I thought I had to show them. I thought I had to make it work. Does it sound like you? I didn't know any better, but I do now. I mentioned earlier that my faith in God and relationship with God was the chief cornerstone in helping me break this cycle. God provided people to validate me. He reminded me of His unconditional love and acceptance that I should give myself. I started to see God's hand in my life, and that made me grateful. Gratitude heals. God told me to forgive. God told me He forgave me, giving me the grace to forgive myself. I now know beyond a shadow of a doubt that nothing is inherently wrong with me. I am not inferior. Let me tell you this. You may have been downtrodden and lied about many times by people. They may have trivialized your feelings and caused you to question your worth. But I want you to know that those people's opinions only have power over you because you allow it. And you can choose to stop giving it power right now. There is good in you, and you are not inferior. I feel the need to read that again. You may have been downtrodden and lied about many times by people. They may have trivialized your feelings and caused you to question your worth. But I want you to know that those people's opinions about you only have power over you because you allow it. And you can choose to stop giving it power right now. There is good in you, and you are not inferior. How many of us are struggling with that? Do you see what I did here? I said that I didn't need people's opinion to validate me anymore. And instead of leaving, I was hustling, trying to stay in a place where I wasn't wanted. How many of us are taking on challenges that are not warranted? How many of us are staying in relationships and with people and in circumstances where we need to exit? How many of us are holding on for things to get better, trusting in God like we say, when God has already told us it's time to leave? How many of us are thinking it has to work with this person? It has to work in this workplace. It just has to work. But what if it doesn't work? What if it actually is a situation where you need to go further, spread your wings elsewhere? I said earlier that I didn't know I could have walked away from them and go find people who would affirm me instead of hustling to stay and be accepted. The truth is, we're not going to find the people. The people will find us. Trust me, they will. They will find us at a place where we are healed, or at least on a journey towards healing. Let me not say healed, because healing is a journey, not a destination. You know, so they will find us at a place where we love ourselves. They will find us at a place where we see our value. They will find us at a place where we affirm ourselves. They will find us at a place where we understand our worth. And we don't have to chase and hustle. Someone said, don't chase anyone. Not even if you're a business person, not even clients, especially clients. Because you see, the ones you chase are always the ones that give you the most trouble. Don't chase any man, don't chase any woman, don't chase any girl, don't chase any boy, don't chase no one. Because when people see your worth, when people see your value, you don't have to chase them. So many of us, we are operating subconsciously with some belief systems that we have to do a check-in and decide that we're not going to believe these things anymore. We want to let go of them, rid ourselves of these beliefs, and decide that enough is enough. It's time for you to give yourself that permission to step into your greatness. It is time for you to give yourself that permission to decide that you are not going to allow people's opinion of you to define you and wrap its arms around you as if, it's your bosom body, when you know that's not who you are. And funny thing, maybe it's who you were, but it's not who you want to be anymore. How many of us are in situations like that? People know us as a particular person. They know us doing one thing, and they tend to, give us credit for that, and they tend to validate and give us attention for that. But that's not really who we truly want to be. That's not truly what we really want to be doing. But we just do it because people want what we do. That's where we get the most credit. How many of us are like that? How many of us are still, hoping somehow that one day we will get to do the things that we have always wanted to do, not realizing how our life is passing us by. And so these are some of the belief systems that we carry. You'll be surprised, when you actually sit down and talk to a counselor, how you actually believe some things. You believe somehow that you shouldn't rock the boat. You believe somehow that if something goes wrong, it shouldn't be your fault. There's so many unhealthy belief systems that we carry. And I'm not in any way saying that we should go out and do whatever we please. That's not what I'm saying. But at the end of the day, though, we have to make sure that we're living our lives for ourselves. And we're not, looking over our shoulder and seeking validation all the time and looking for someone else's permission to tell us that we are something. But it's for us to believe that we are that thing. And we're not going to wait until we are quote unquote perfect and we are almost there to start seeking new opportunities. But we're going to step into that, and we're going to work it out while we are stepping into. That is how it works. I used to have this thing, where I think that, I have to get it all figured out before I even start something. But I realize that's not how life works. You have to do it messy and chaka and learn and pick yourself up and do it, and not define yourself by the failure and still have the strength to go again. That's life. That's living, actually. And so we have to make sure that we are doing that. So I want to encourage us to journal this weekend, even before Christmas, even before we go to family dinner and join and stuff like that. Hello, those of you who are joining us again on TikTok, welcome. Please like and share this video. Please leave your comments. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please do so. For those of you who are on Presence Radio, welcome, welcome. Please to call or text the number 876-548-8485. Please, join in on this conversation. Let me hear from you what you feel and what you think about what we're discussing here tonight. I think I have something here that we can all participate in. This was a questionnaire. I believe we did it last week, but there are some questions here that we might want to use to kind of help us to uncover some of our belief systems. For example, I feel hopeful about my future. Those are some of the questions. I believe I'm worthy of success. Do you? I believe good things can happen for me. And I said this last week, and I'm going to say it again. Many times we mentally consent to things because it sounds good. But if we should really go down into it, we really don't believe those things. Many of us don't believe that success is for us because somebody else tells us that. And we believe it. But again, like I said, it's time for you to give power and credit to your own voice and stop assigning credit to other people who don't deserve it. Other people who, are so caught up in their own world, their own opinions and beliefs. Stop trying, they don't need to prove your points either. But you need to be focused and run your race. So I hope you guys can write down some of the things that we're about to just ask, some of the questions that will invite you to take a reflection on some of your belief systems. Some of the questions are, I often put other people's needs in front of mine. I have a problem saying no to people. I feel very guilty, and so I give in to the guilt in order to avoid, even though it inconveniences me. It is an inconvenience to me, rather. Another question could also be, I struggle to make friends, struggle to stay in healthy relationships with people. Whenever I make friends or enter into a relationship, it always ends badly. And I don't exactly know why. Another question is, I tend to keep silent about some issues because I don't want to start or stir up trouble. And then I have an outburst or a breakdown. These are some questions to kind of test our belief systems. If we answer honestly some of these questions, and it gives us a gateway as to what we believe about ourselves and the world and other people, and helps us to see that, okay, if this is happening, then what's my belief here? Let's say, for example, if your answer is that you do keep things to yourself until you blow up, what's the belief system? I don't want to burden people, so I keep things to myself. I don't want to be a problem. I don't want to cause problems and inconvenience in other people's lives, so I decide that I'm not going to say or do anything. I don't want to give my opinion because if something goes badly, I don't want other people to blame me. I prefer to take the back seat and allow other people to make the decisions for me because I'm not sure I can trust myself to decide about what I want. But many of us are saying yes to these questions. If your answer is yes to any of those two last questions, then yes, there are some issues there when it comes down to our belief systems. Many of us are passive in our lives. We take a passive role. We lean and over dependent on other people to move our lives for us, which is no wonder why their opinions about us become so important. And so I'm asking us to do a reflection tonight. Thank you, Will Justin, for reposting this video. Please like and share this video, everybody, on TikTok and also on Presence Radio. Please invite a friend to tune in to what we are discussing. We give other people credit. We over depend on them so much to the point where it's so hard to determine if we can actually give that permission to ourselves. It seems unnatural. But it's time we start doing it. It's time we start having that bravery about ourselves It's time we start understanding that this doesn't work for me anymore, and I can change this. This book is about taking your power back. This book is about helping you to realize that you're not a victim. And I don't know if you guys have ever heard the story, or like a fable or some, paradoxical story that illustrates a dog being tied for years. And then when you finally let go the dog, he still thinks that he's trapped and he stays there. And many of us are like that. We have identified with our abuser. We have identified with the people in our lives who haven't exactly always poured into us in the best ways. But because we are used to them, and that's how we're born and grow, and we know them from Adams, we stay. And we have developed a trauma bond with them. Yes, trauma bonding is real. And we decide that we can't leave, or we're not leave because they are the ones who were there for us when we didn't have anyone. But now the person who was there for you when you never have anybody has now become your primary abuser, and you are being loyal to somebody who really has betrayed your trust. And so this is another example of something that we also need to think about. So we have to think about these things. We have to allow ourselves to start having a different perspective about some of the things that we are holding on to, some of the rules that we have made up. Many of us say friends for life, you know, and the people who we are friends with, they are not very positive, they are not very healthy. When we share our dreams with them, they tear us down. And it doesn't sound like tear down. It sounds like protection. Many times they frame it that way, but really it's not. So what I'm trying to say is sometimes the persons who in our lives who are being very negative to us are not always doing it in a way that look and sound like negativity. I watched this movie once where this mother basically teach her child to be helpless so she can always have her to take care of. So she would give her pills to make her even more sick. So she can have her in the house to take care of her. And many of us, we don't have anybody giving us a physical pill, but we have people in our lives who are pilling us, who are giving us information, who are pretending to be who they are not to us, who sometimes even mean us well, but because of how they are doing it, it is doing more harm than good. And we remain faithful to them. But it's time for us. And the funny thing about this is that many of us don't even realize that that's what's happening. We don't realize it. And so this is why counseling is so important, because it helps you to uncover some of these areas, these blind spots, with somebody who is a professional, to show you and to make you more self-aware, to show you some of the areas where you have belief systems that are not healthy, not working for you, that is self-sabotaging. And many of us engage in sabotaging behaviors, you see. Many of us, we are the toxic people in our lives. And so tonight we want to remember these things. We want to do a reflection as the year closes. We want to set goals. And I want to take the opportunity to say that my book, my planner, is coming out shortly. And I want to invite every single one of you to purchase a planner. And these are goals that we're going to set not only in our professional life, but we're going to set goals in our personal lives, to break some habits, to break away from some friendships that we have been having that are not healthy. And we know it too. The goal is to believe in ourselves. I remember one week we spoke about planning to believe. Yes. So these are some of the things that we're going to address in the planner. So I want to encourage you guys to buy one. We have an upcoming session, and I want us to tune into that. The name of our session has to do with man in the mirror and a reset for man in the mirror. So this session is about us pretty much examining ourselves. We hit some really good points in this session. I just want to read a few of them. So we're going to not even hit. In our planning, we came up with some really good points, relevant points that many of you will benefit from. Real points, and these are situations that I myself have been through, have struggled with, and I would like to share how I get through it, which is pretty much how I wrote the book too. What I did, I thought about how God said to me, other persons have been through this too, so you should write about it, and so that's what I did. So my story is a part of this book. It helps readers to understand and identify that things might not always be perfect, but you have to take your power back. You know. So here are some of the points. Some of the points that I have illustrated in this package that is what is about to come. Some of the points that is going to be in our session. Some of the points that we are going to be discussing in the Man in the Mirror reset. It's coming up very shortly in early January. So do not buy all the sorrel and cake and rum and drunk off yourself. But please save some for this session. It's going to be reasonable priced. It's going to be reasonably priced. So please tune in. So some of the points that we're going to be talking about is or people often, if this scenario resonates with you, then let me know. People often leave the work on me whenever I show competence or come up with a better idea or suggestion. And before you know it, I'm the leader, and the ones who were once impressed by my competence and ideas start to challenge or behave in uncooperatively whenever I try to hold them accountable or request that they follow through with the plan or do their share of the work. Anybody ever have that challenge? You come up with an idea, people see it bright and you have it together, or you know what you do. So they give you the load to carry by yourself, and before you know it, that you want to do the work. And when you start asking help and start, sometimes if you get misery upon them, they start to label you as difficult. So if that resonates with you, then that's a point that we're going to be talking about. It's overall self-management and you learning to be strategic in how you handle yourself when it comes on to these people. Our time is running out with Presence Radio, and pretty much coming to a close on this line. Again, my name is Peter K. Graham. I am your host for the Healed Version of Me. I am a counselor. I am a educational psychologist and author of the Healed Version of Me and the planner that's coming out as well. If you want to purchase this book, please do so. Please contact me at 876-548-8485. The book is also available on Amazon, so please reach out. And please stay tuned for more information as it relates to Man in the Mirror Reset, coming out early January, for us to have that phenomenal groundbreaking session where we actually talk about real issues that people face and how we are going to navigate them this year. So it is basically going to be discussing issues surrounding work and relationships and how to set better boundaries and get more done. It comes with a discount if you purchase the planner. And so tonight we want to thank you for tuning in. I hope you have been challenged tonight to do better or to do something different when it comes on to, what you believe about yourself and how you present yourself to the world. I want you to know that I believe in you, and I believe in your power to change your own life, and I believe that you can do it, and you are more than able. God has already given you the power to heal. He has already given you the strength that you need. And so as we close tonight, as usual, we are closing. That's with our favorite line from this book that says, as you heal, your level of awareness will bloom, and you will know how to give good things to yourself and those around you. You will also become wiser and be able to discern the outcome of certain choices, understanding that with certain people, resources, or lack thereof, and situations, some outcomes are inevitable, are more likely to occur. As you heal, you will become clearer, confusion will burn away, and you'll be very proud of yourself and how far you have come and the part you have played in your healing journey. Be healed, my friend. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me again. Our time is up. The Healed Version of Me is the name of the brand, it's the name of our radio program. My name is Peter Gay Graham, your wellness talker. Thank you so much for tuning in. We want to thank Presence Radio for hosting us. Thank you. And we will see you guys next week at 8 p.m. on Presence Radio and at 8:30 on this TikTok Live. Please reach out to me. If you want to have private sessions with me, then please do so. Please send me a direct message or let me contact you on here. The number to call or text is 876-548-8485. Until next week, be healed, my friend.